What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Storytime. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Remember, all your game time and Storytime content all falls under the same channel on YouTube. So thank you for everyone that's subscribing and enjoying all of the content from there. This week, we have a weapon in the studio. We have someone that is breaking boundaries out of South Africa and taking on the fight world overseas. We have Tumelo Manyamala.
Yeah.
Did I say that correctly?
That is correct.
There we go. Mixed martial artist and the ultimate fighter contender for season 33. Tumelo, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So you are the fourth ever South African to make it overseas into the ultimate fighter with the UFC.
Yes.
What's that experience been like so far, dude?
That is a crazy experience. It's a crazy experience. I mean, just being in Vegas, and I remember last year I had a torn MCL injury.
You know.
And I was in hospital watching The Ultimate Fighter season 32. And I was like, okay, when I come back, I want to go one day. You know?
There we go.
And they have different weight classes, 2 weight classes per season. So you never know what weight class is going to be.
Okay, so you might potentially have to wait another year or another however long. Okay.
Yeah, and the last time they had my weight class was 2016. Damn. Like 9 years ago. So, yeah. So December comes around, Ultimate Fighter applications open, and, you know, I apply, I make it somehow, and yeah, the rest is history.
There we go, dude. Grace of God.
There we go. Yeah.
What was the process of submitting? Was it like, because I'm trying to think, if you were an actor,
Right.
you just send in an audition tape, right? Hi, my name's Tumelo and this is why I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
But when fighting and skills are introduced as well, how did you blend that into the application?
I mean, like, you fill out a questionnaire, and then you also have to, I want to say, a creative part where you write about yourself.
Okay.
And yeah, I wrote about myself. I sent it in, and they make you wait like a month or so before they reply. They're like, okay, we like your application. Here's your first interview date. Then they interview you, and then they make you wait again. So it's like, oh,
jeez,
I'll make it. They interview you, and then they're like, okay, cool. Here's your next interview. Make you wait again. And then after that, they told me to get my visas. And even when I got my visa and they bought me a plane ticket to go to Vegas, they're like, you're not yet confirmed. This is still final selections. So yeah, when I got to Vegas, it's like, okay, I'm here, but you know, I still might be sent home. So yeah, luckily I didn't get sent home, and yeah, we made it on.
Did you choose, because this always fascinates me, right? Before we get into how you got into MMA and all that, what I find interesting is obviously fighters have to play a certain character, right? To sell a fight or to do press conferences or whatever. You kind of choose a character that you feel best portrays who you are as a person, and you ride forward with that, right? Are you thinking of that in the application process already?
No, to
Not
be
so
honest,
much, eh?
no, I'm not. I mean, I do get the whole, you know, playing a character thing. You know, it does sell fights. But you know what I'm growing to learn is that getting yourself out there, kind of just telling your own story, and being a good fighter will sell the fight by itself.
Will get you further.
Yeah, it'll get you further, and I think a lot of fighters are kind of influenced by that Conor McGregor kind of era, you know, where you have to be out there, and it works for some people, and for some people it's just cringy. And
yes, like Colby Covington. My word, dude, that's a situation there. And like you say, it does sell fights.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
sell
he does
fights.
the screaming and shouting and the threats and the whatever, and it works. It sells fights. So that's why I asked the question, right?
Yeah.
It leads me into what you were saying just before we started recording was nickname-wise.
Yes.
From Bones of Steel to Mello. Why the change?
What happened?
And was that a part of this ultimate fighter journey, or was it just a personal, in your own journey, kind of made that choice?
Best of both.
Okay.
It was the both. Okay. Bones of Steel. People always ask me like, oh, where'd you get Bones of Steel? It must be such an interesting story. And it's really not. Okay, so what happened was I was doing my application for the EFC. And they're like, oh, what's your fight name? And I was literally I was working an office job. I was literally sitting in the office. I was like, what's a nice fight name? I was was like, oh, Bones of Steel. I literally put it down, and that's how Bones of Steel came along.
Really? Just thought of it, you like ChatGPT the
Just
crap
like
out of it in your own brain.
Just like that. Yeah. And then Melo, I mean, from when I was younger, I had one of my friends' father, you know, right? He used to watch us like spar and all that.
Sick.
And he used to be like, oh, you have a very mellow style. I'm going to call you too mellow. Like it didn't really like register. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I went on to the Ultimate Fighter, and I got selected for Daniel Cormier, Team DC, and the whole time he was calling me, "Hey, what's up, Melo? Hey, Melo, hey, Melo," and I'm like, "Oh, okay,
It's catching on.
It's catching on." And you know, no, I'm very like chilled. I'm laid back, so I'm like, okay, this actually works, and decided to reinvent into Melo.
Dude, good call. I didn't even make the link of Tumelo.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's
Right.
poetry right there. Okay, sick. So you just fell into place perfectly with nickname-wise.
Yeah, nickname-wise.
Okay. And out of your 6 wins, you've got 100% finish rate, either by
100%
knockout
finish.
or submission.
Yes.
What is the difference in knockout or submission out of the 6? How many of them are knockout? How many submission?
1 submission, 5.
5 knockouts.
Yes.
What, kicks to the head?
Kick to the head. Okay, first one, submission. Rear naked choke, my only submission.
I saw that one. I watched that one this morning. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that was at EFC.
Yeah, EFC.
Yes.
Drinking a Nox Hydrate feels like.
Is there no one else? Give it up for Steel now.
Let's get back to the show.
Okay.
The first one in Tene, that's rear naked choke. Second one was against Tyrell Lowe, TKO. Weird story, that one as
Okay.
well. So we're fighting, and I threw lots of body kicks, and I think he broke his arm or something because he didn't, defend correctly. And then I just put it on him, and they stopped the fight. And that was like a performance bonus winning kind of performance. Performance bonus winning performance.
Jeez, like,
But I didn't get the bonus. They gave it to my opponent for having heart. So that's my second fight. Third fight was against Blakis.
okay.
That was the head kick. Fourth fight, I fought Dauda Rajabu, the Tanzanian guy, really tall.
I was about to say, it sounds like a name of a big
Yeah,
individual.
he was huge. So he was a bantamweight and I was a flyweight, and we had to meet up in the middle somewhere. So there's a catch weight before that, 59. And I remember walking in the cage, and it was just this tall, kind of big guy. I was like, jeepers. Very awkward fight.
Yeah, the kind of fight that proves that size doesn't matter. Eh?
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Yeah,
Very awkward. Ended up finishing him with ground and pound.
sick.
Yeah, he tapped out from ground and pound, which was satisfying.
That's pretty dope. Yeah.
And then fifth fight, I fought Fafa Dwama. Also TKO, got him on the ground and pound, ref stopped it.
Jeez.
And then that's when I got the call for UAE Warriors.
Okay.
Yes, UAE Warriors was... So Fafa Dwama was in the September. UAE Warriors, I got the call in the January. It was confirmed on the 1st of January.
Sick. Good
Yeah.
start to the year. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I had my Christmas cakes and... you know.
Okay,
And then-
I got to get rid of all of this now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we have an opponent confirmed in 3 weeks. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's just, cut 12 kilos.
12 kilos.
12 kilos. And then we made it. But yeah, did the UAE Warriors fight. Got my first loss. The guy was just, I don't want to take anything away from him. He was a good fighter, more experienced. I think at the time he was 9-2 or 9-1.
Okay.
His record. And then came back to the EFC in the May, where I fought Mickey Kluti. I got the TKO there. And then got confirmed. So that was the May. Then I got confirmed for interim belt fight with Terence Balelo.
Sorry, we know Terence well.
Yes.
Love Terence, yeah.
Like, okay, this was 3 weeks before. I was like, I've been waiting for the title for so long, because usually in EFC you win like 2-3 fights. And they're like, okay, here's your title. I had to win 6.
Jeez, that's a lot of fights.
Yeah,
okay.
I had to win 6. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do it. And then a week before the fight, tore my MCL. Yeah.
In training. Yeah.
So I had to pull out of that one. And ended up in hospital. That's where I saw the Ultimate Fighter. I was like, oh, one day. And I was supposed to have my comeback fight in EFC in December.
This last December? 2023,
yes,
2024?
yes.
2024.
2024. Yes, because it's all last year. Yes, it is. And before that, so I tore my MCL, was out for a couple months, came back and trained for 2 months, around 2 months, and then started preparing for a fight. As I was preparing for that fight, broke my foot.
These sound like very common kickboxing injuries, an MCL and a broken foot.
Yeah, all in the same leg, by the way. All my power leg. So if you watch like a lot of my fights, my head kick's always my right leg. So this is like my power leg taking all this battering. But it's fine now. But still, at
now
the time,
it's probably stronger than it was at first, right? Broken bone comes back twice as strong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
End of September, broke my foot.
Jeez, like.
So
okay.
I was out now, and I couldn't, I worked at PFA, as personal trainer and all that. But
Sick.
My foot is broken. So what am I supposed to do? A lot of things happened, and then left the job. So I was literally sitting at home, broken foot, no job, no fight, nothing, and I was just scrolling one day. I always make this joke with my fiance because she always tells me, "You're just sitting and you're scrolling." But one day,
I'm searching.
I'm searching. One day, I scrolled, and that's how I found the Ultimate Fighter application. They're like, Ultimate Fighter applications are open. I was like, yeah,
do it.
Scrolling changed my life.
You see, all that toilet time, all those hour-long toilet sits all came through. Yeah.
So this goes out to all boyfriends, husbands out there. If you're getting shit for scrolling, tell them my story.
Keep scrolling.
Keep
scrolling. There's a light at the end of that tunnel, boys. Okay, and then that's what took you to where you are now in The Ultimate Fighter.
Yes.
What I find really interesting about your journey. Oh wait, let's crack one of these first. Have you had one of these before?
I've never.
There's no caffeine.
Nice.
No, so it's just hydration.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
This is Drickus's hydration drink, Knox. Cheers. Thank you for being here, man.
Of course.
How's it dealing with the TV side of it? That must be quite a... Trying to put myself in your shoes of I'm here to fight and I'm here to be an athlete, but I also am now involved in the TV reality side of everything as well.
Yeah.
Was that quite a shock, or can you naturally find your flow in that space?
I mean, it's the one thing you have to get used to was just cameras everywhere.
All the time.
Yeah. And it's hard not to ignore the camera.
Okay.
So ignoring the cameras was one part of it, and I went in there, I told myself, I'm just going to be myself. I know people use the show to kind of act up, but I'm not going to fake it. I am who I am. I fight the way I fight, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to, be a loudmouth in the house, but I'm not a loudmouth in person.
I see.
What if that gets me big, and then now I have to be a loudmouth forever, So... Yeah, I just be myself, and if you watch me in the show, I don't know, a lot of people have told me I'm just in my own world. There was a scene where 2 guys were arguing, and I was in the background kicking a soccer ball.
Chilling,
yeah. So I was just be myself, and it kind of took the pressure off.
How's the element of call outs? Being challenged or called out by someone, do you see it as okay, this is how we play the game?
Yeah.
Or is there a personal aspect of I don't think that person likes me?
I mean, in the tough house, do it only two people that were calling each other out, two Brazilian guys.
Okay.
And yeah, other than that, everyone else was very chill.
Pretty chilled, eh?
Yeah, like watching the old tough seasons. Right? I'm sure you've seen like the clips of the guys like, I can't get knocked out. I promise I can't get knocked out. And they clip him and he gets knocked out.
Oh, gets knocked out.
And
Yep.
like, yeah, and then like fighters were crazy back in the day, you know. But this tough season, like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's just me, but fighters are so chill now. Like,
Really?
they're journaling. They're like enjoying their time in the
Journaling,
sun. I swear,
yeah.
I promise you. And yeah, they're just very chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the clip of Rampage Jackson
Yeah.
tearing a door apart.
Tearing a door.
Is
And then-
frightening. That
Yeah.
was from Tough, right?
Yeah, that's Tough.
Okay. Same with Chell on the I Can't Let You Get That Close. That
Yeah.
like famous. Yeah. I
wanna
love
know.
that clip, dude. Yes, that is in so many WhatsApp groups of mine. Oh, Sarah, can't let you get that, get that close. Yeah. Yes, that's a good clip. What's it been like training under Daniel Cormier? That must be a surreal experience, like one of the legends of the sport.
I mean, it's insane. I remember the day of selections. It was the first time we met Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen. So they all like line us up, and this was in the UFC PI, and like the other side of the room, you just see DC and Chael, and you're like, oh my word.
That's sick. Eh?
Yeah, like, am I dreaming right now? Like, these are literal people I've watched on fights, you know, and now I'm going to be training with them. I'm going to be meeting them. They're going to know who I am. And yeah, I mean, at first I was starstruck, and then he made us do crazy workouts. And I was like, okay, I've had enough.
There we go. Yeah.
I've had enough. But I mean, just getting to tough has been a crazy kind of story, with my broken foot. And so my foot was broken when I applied. Okay? And we're doing the interviews virtually. And I was literally in the moon boot, wearing crutches. Like, I couldn't walk, anything, the whole time they interviewed me. So I was so scared. I was like, oh my word, if they asked me to like do a workout in an interview.
Oh, are you hiding it?
I'm hiding it. They had no
Well
idea.
played.
Had
Well
no
played.
idea. Yeah.
Well played. I dig that.
So this whole time I'm like, oh, jeepers. And then so this was October till the end of December,
Okay.
the kind of interview phase. And then January, they told me to get my visa to go there. And from September till January, I was in a moon boot. All right, so I only started training the first week of January.
G-Suck, okay.
Now you can imagine, like, you haven't put weight on this leg forever, you know, and it's still like sore. It's not broken, but it's sore, you know. And I had literally 3 weeks of training camp, and then I had to go to Vegas.
And then straight out, eh?
Straight to Vegas. Like, I was still out of that 3 weeks of training. 2 weeks of them, I was literally limping. I couldn't kick. I was just doing boxing, some rolling, some jiu-jitsu rolling. Even like when I rolled, I had to tell people, like, just watch the foot.
Yeah.
Still healing. And yeah, I flew to Vegas, and yeah, I was like, you know what? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Gotta do it.
Last time they had my weight class 9 years ago. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, you have to do it, eh?
Yeah, there's no way I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what was the experience of Vegas?
Insane. Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, just flying into Vegas and seeing like all these buildings that you've only seen on movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched, when I was in Vegas, in the hotel before we moved into the house, I watched, it was Hangover Part 2 or something.
There you go.
Where they were in Vegas. I was like, hey.
Great movie.
Me too.
Yeah. There we go. You're like, this is my Hangover Part 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And just crazy, like, people there are so different as well.
Really?
You know, yeah. I find like American people speak more than like South African people. They're very open.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
they
like,
are.
They'll have like a flat out conversation with like a random guy. Okay, cool. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shock, and yeah, it's just a culture shock. Driving on the other side of the road,
Yeah, that's stressful. We
Yeah.
had that in Canada. Yeah. Every time you turn at a four-way, you're just holding on to it.
it's like,
Yeah. What was some workouts or hints or tips that you were surprised to learn from DC?
Oh, well, he has a very different fighting style than I do. But the one thing I took from DC and the whole kind of Ultimate Fighter experience was the urgency.
Oh, really?
Just going and wanting to like do what you need to do. You know what I mean? If you watch like my EFC fights, I could do like, I could evade and then hit the guy whenever I wanted to. But at that level, you have to go. You can't just evade. Like you have to go forward and you have to kind of urgently work, which is one thing I took from DC. One thing I learned from there, and it's literally changing my game.
Yeah.
Like to this day, and yeah.
Yeah. And with your episode, I mean, at the time of this episode releasing as well, your episode comes out today.
Yes.
Came out earlier today, before this.
Yes.
Let's chat into that. Obviously, at the time of recording this, I haven't seen your episode yet. But what can people expect out of the episode? What happens throughout? And how are you feeling about it?
Right. So, it's a weird kind of feeling. It's a weird kind of feeling. I could say there's many different reasons for it.
Okay.
But yeah, I get matched up with Roybert Echeverria.
Okay.
He's a very mellow guy. He's from Venezuela. You know, I got along with everyone in the house, getting along with him, and you know, we get matched to fight. It's nothing personal. That's the weird thing about tough as well. Like you living with your opponent.
I didn't even think of that angle.
Yeah. You're literally living with your opponent. So like you go,
Jeez, okay.
want to go make food, your opponent is there. And, you know, during the weight cut, you might be looking, you know, frail and all that. And he's right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just a different kind of feel with that. But, you know, we're cool with each other. We're like, okay, we're going to fight. We're going to have dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
Chilled. Okay. Fight day comes. I don't know. I'm not nervous at all. At all. Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't feel nerves whatsoever. And even just warming up, like, it's a good thing not to feel nerves.
Yeah.
But to a certain extent, you kind of need a bit of nerves.
You want that like kick in the ass to give you that extra energy.
I'm just like super chilled. I'm warming up for the fight. Super chilled. Like, my mind is really like, it's there, but it's not there.
Okay.
It's weird. First time I've ever experienced this. And yeah, go fight Roybert. Hell of a fight. He has a lot of pressure. I'm kind of like moving on the outside. He gets me with a few calf kicks. I clip him. I drop him once with the right hand, which is nice.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not there mentally. You know what I mean? It's weird. Out of all the fights, I've always been there. And if you watch this fight and watch my other fights, you'd see like there's
Something a bit different.
Something a bit different. And yeah, first round, kind of good fight. I knocked him down. Second round comes. He starts wrestling, starts shooting. I get my underhooks. I get up, move around. He shoots again. Then as I'm getting up, I give my back. One mistake, takes my back. Submission. Fuck. And that's all she wrote. Weird.
Damn.
And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like even with that, right? Like you watch the show, people like they get beaten and they're like in the cage. They're like, you know, it's the end of the world. I was just like, huh, okay.
Really weird, eh?
Yeah.
Have you been able to like kind of self-study enough as to why you think you were in that headspace?
Yeah, I just think, I mean, it could be various reasons, you know, lack of preparation maybe. I mean, I did have a 3-week camp and, you know, no hard sparring at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I can give a lot of reasons, but I can't put my finger on one thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I know that wasn't the best version of myself.
Yeah.
So even though it's a loss, I know that I'm way better than what I gave there.
Okay.
It just sucks because, you know, that was the opportunity of a lifetime. If there was a point in time where I had to perform and be my best, that was it.
That moment.
But I had the opposite. That moment, I was my worst.
So how do you look back at it now and go like, are you beating yourself up about it, or are you looking back and going, that's a lesson to learn, gave it the best I had, what's next?
I mean, I am grateful. I did learn a lot. I learned so much. And I know that it's a lesson learned. You know, I have that kind of mindset. You win or you learn. But obviously there's something in the back of the mind, like once in a while, I was like, that is the opportunity.
Yes, understandably.
That's like the UFC right there.
Yeah.
Fighting in front of Dana White, you know, fighting in front of DC, in front of Chelson, and even Colby. Colby was there.
Sick.
Michael Chiesa was there. Like that was it.
Damn, dude. Okay.
But it's part of the journey. Highs, low lows. You just gotta stay consistent, which is you know what I'm doing, and definitely be back and ready to perform better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also now you've got so much experience and insight into your profession that no one else has, right? Especially here in South Africa. I mean, 4 people ever, you being the 4th, have done that.
We want to thank you guys for watching this far. We also want to thank Super Mushrooms for keeping me focused for every episode of Storytime.
What was DC's takeaway? Do you get input after the fight, whether it's a win or a learn?
Yes. So he does give input. He wanted me to put more pressure. So like I said, we had different styles. If you watch DC, he was a Greco-Roman wrestler.
Yeah.
So he wants to go forward, kind of throw punches and just get your legs, take you down.
Okay.
But I'm not a wrestler. I'm a striker. So I'm more like, you know, I want to change angles, get the right angle, and kind of like snipe you. You know what I mean? So he didn't see what I was trying to do, and I get where he's coming from. And when I applied what he said I should do, like go more forward, I just got better.
I see. Okay.
It's weird. So he did give me a take. He said, I'm not happy with, you know, you not putting the pressure. And then, you know, in the sparring sessions while I was still there, you know, while I'm here, I applied what he said and it works. So, yeah.
Crazy how the coaching, they know the game so well that the piece of advice they give you works to the T.
It just works.
And the decision of training under DC and not under Chael.
Yes.
I hope I say that name right. I do.
Yeah, Chael. Yeah.
What was that decision? Like, do you get to choose, and do you think you made the right call?
No. So we have like an open workout with all the contestants. The workout, we have like kickboxing, sparring, we have grappling, wrestling, and the 2 kind of head coaches and their teams. They have like a few assistant coaches.
Dope.
They select who they want. So we had like a little lineup, and they selected this person and that person, and I got selected by DC.
That's sick, dude. To be chosen by DC is awesome. Yeah.
And the whole time we're like, I want to be on DC, Team DC. I was chatting to Mike before I left to Vegas. He was like, "Oh, we want to be on DC."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah."
There we go. And you got it, eh?
Yeah.
Incredible experience. And how has this changed, like, to get into the relevancy of your experience to the industry at the moment, right?
Yeah.
And what's kind of going on in the world.
Right.
I often bring up John Jones,
Yes.
DC, one of the greatest rivalries the sport has ever seen.
Yeah.
Has getting to know him as a person changed your view of that rivalry?
It does. I look back at the rivalry of DC and John Jones, and I look at the DC videos. I'm like, is this really?
Really?
Because he's so chilled. It's like the
Yeah.
funniest guy ever. Like, yeah, he's wild. He's always cracking jokes. He's always having fun. And then you see like little clips of him and John Jones, and he's telling John Jones like, "I'm coming for you," you know. And I'm like, what?
Completely different person. eh?
Yeah,
That's
completely
crazy.
different. Yeah.
And what do you think of, in relevancy to the conversation, what do you think of the John Jones sudden out of the blue retirement that everyone was like half expecting
Yeah.
and half also hoping for it not to happen yet with the Tom Aspinall call out?
Yeah.
How are you feeling on all of that?
I mean, I'm happy for John Jones.
Okay.
I'm happy that one of the legends of MMA is, being protected. To
Okay.
be honest, could he have done that better? Yes, definitely. He should have beat Stipe, and after that, he should have been like, "Okay, I'm retired."
Yeah.
But he beat Stipe, got the belt, and then kind of said, "Oh, I'm coming back." 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and then with this whole Tom Aspinall thing, and then decides to randomly, retire at a random UFC card.
Yeah.
Isn't even in the States. It was in Azerbaijan. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy one of the legends are protected. And as much as it sucks, I feel like the legends of the sport must know when to retire.
Yes.
Like Khabib retired on top. No
that
one
was an incredible retirement.
exactly. And people were like, "Oh no, I want to see him more." But from his perspective, he's a legend. What else does he need to do? Does he need to fight until he's tired, go on a losing streak, and then retire?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm happy that John Jones didn't lose.
Yeah. I was... I got to be careful commenting not being a fighter. But as a fan,
Yeah.
John Jones was probably one of the first images within UFC that I ever became privy to. That I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this guy's a savage. He's incredible. Whether people want to argue this point or not, is the greatest fighter that's ever lived, right? When you've got a title like that... what I would have liked to see
Right.
is him fight Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Whether he won or lost that fight, I still would have gone, there's the legend.
Yeah.
What do you think of, do you think we'll see Conor McGregor fight again? Don't think so, eh?
No, not at all.
Do you think because the UFC won't allow it or because you don't think he'll be ready?
He will never be ready.
Think so?
He will never be ready. The best, I don't know.
He's too deep in the sauce, dude.
There's only a few fighters, right? John Jones being one of them, where you get millions of dollars and still have the same intensity
In the
training
ring.
and fighting to hold it up.
Okay.
Which is why someone like John Jones' career was very impressive. He won the belt at 23 years old.
That's young, eh?
I think he had 14 years of being a champion. So 14 years of getting big checks, and he's still winning and winning and winning. Just crazy. Some people can't do that. Like,
That's a good point.
yeah. Some people get the millions and then,
Silk sheets.
yeah. Like, why
Yeah.
why do I need to wake up and go train early?
Yeah.
Why? I can just, go out tonight.
Dude, even I look at that and go,
Yeah.
why would I want to get kicked in the head?
Yeah.
When I have millions in my bank account, a happy family,
Yeah.
I've proved that I've become the champ,
Exactly.
double champ
Yeah.
as well. Like, again, dude, I relate the two situations. I think people just want to get to see Conor McGregor fight again. I don't think he needs to.
Doesn't need to. Yeah.
I think we just want to see him put on a performance, right? Like all the antics and the call outs and the character.
Yeah.
I mean, those fights were legendary.
It's crazy. But he's changed a lot. He's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like, watching old Conor McGregor and watching current Conor McGregor is like two separate people.
It is, eh?
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's like a clip of him when he was like in featherweight, when he was on his way up. I think he beat Jose Aldo
Okay.
just became the champ.
Jose Aldo was the one where he was practicing that.
Yes,
Was
and
the,
he got
the over right hand or
Yes,
something. Yeah.
9 seconds.
Yeah.
Knocked him out in 9 seconds. It's crazy. And he was like, "Oh no, I don't party. Partying is a weakness for the soul." And then it cuts to a clip of him like
Just sitting
raving,
there, like,
like,
chewing his face off. And you're like, well, you don't look very weak right now. I'm going to put that out there. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he made his money. He brought lots of people to the sport, but
Yeah.
he had his time.
I want to see Tom Aspinall get to be an absolute savage
Yeah.
and walk people and develop his own legacy in the sport. You want the chance to get to see that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
you look at what Drickus is doing right now. I mean, he's paving a path that the world has never seen before.
Yeah.
Not only being South African, like yourself, being in The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
People don't see that often.
They don't.
You know, and whether the world sees it this way or not, as a South African, that's huge. Just the chance and just the opportunity, right? It's so 1 in a million.
Yeah.
We feel so far removed here from everything that it does sometimes feel like it's out of reach.
It does.
That when someone like Drickus provides hope for an entire country, you go like, oh shit, again, closing that gap. It's actually not that far off, right?
Exactly.
We got to get into the fight of Drickus in August, on the 16th of August. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I don't know Drickus is going to win.
Really? Are you a bit nervous?
No, not at all. I mean, Drickus is Drickus.
Yeah.
You know? You can never count Drickus out.
No.
No matter who is fighting. You know, he's going to take them down or he's going to, knock them out somehow.
Yeah.
And, okay, talking from like fight IQ or kind of fighter's perspective of it.
Yes.
Drickus doesn't gas. Okay. He's strong. He doesn't gas.
Okay.
Comes out with his fight against Gilbert Burns, 3-rounder. Right? He's used to finishing his fights in the first round. He'll wrestle you. He'll put all his energy to take you down and finish you. Will he take Drickus down? I don't think so. Drickus is huge.
And he's very good on the ground.
And he's good on the ground. He's very strong.
Yeah.
He's going to gas himself out trying to take Drickus down. Second round is going to come. Drickus is going to put pace on him. I honestly think Drickus will finish the fight.
Okay.
Not only will he win, I think he's going to finish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you say because Dylan Ray, who we obviously both know,
Yeah.
Dill said the same.
Yeah.
He said if he can't take Drickus in the first round, screwed. Yeah. But then I always play devil's advocate and I go now, okay, what if he knows that though?
Yeah.
What if Kamzat's gone, okay, everyone thinks I'm going to come in on the first round and gas out completely. Yeah. What if I hold out on the first round and force Drickus to come at me?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like my brain starts going there. And I'm like, what if he does that? You know? I still think I'd still put my money on Drickus.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever been nervous with Drickus fighting was Whitaker. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And
because that was the first fight that I was like, this guy's going to match him at coming forward, at his energy, at his gas tank. They're going to match each other really nicely. With Adesanya or whatever, they're two completely different fighters, right? Yeah. One's, kind of creating that distance. The other's kind of coming forward. Cool. You can see the differential between the two of them.
Yeah.
With Whitaker, I was like, now it's just who's the best at that given style.
Yeah.
And obviously then he came through as well. So since that, I've been like, cool, dude, I back Drickus, putting my money on Drickus.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So if you had to put a statement prediction forward, I'll put mine as well. What is yours?
Championship rounds.
Okay.
Makes it there.
Okay.
Fourth round.
Finish how?
Either knockout standing or ground and pound. But it's something, I don't think submission. I think Kamzat will try to take him down, like a sloppy takedown. Drickus is going to stuff it and just
panel beat him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go third round knockout.
Nice.
As soon as you say ground and pound, I was like, shit, that's actually a very good call. That's a very good call. But I'm going to stick to what I was thinking this morning. Yeah, I'm going to go third round knockout.
Yeah.
You fourth round knockout or ground and pound.
Ground and pound, yeah.
Great options.
Yeah.
Great options. What else are you looking at? I know this is a terrible question, but there could be something in this. What else are you looking into for the rest of the year? Like goal-wise, aspiration-wise, fight-wise maybe as well.
Yeah.
If you want to throw a cheeky call out in, do that too. What are you feeling for the rest of the year right now?
So rest of the year right now, I want to get at least one fight in
Okay.
by the end of the year. Because I can't fight until all the episodes are done.
100%.
Finale is done. And one fight, and I'm expecting a baby girl in August.
Yay!
So,
Congrats. Love that.
you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. So, just having my kid, fighting once, and pick up the rest again next year.
Okay.
But the fight I do want to have, I want it to be an international fight.
Okay.
Whether it's UFC or whatever, I want to start kind of pushing South African MMA out there.
There we go.
I think that's the next step of it.
Okay.
Drickus is there. We need to really test South African MMA versus other countries, and that's the way we're gonna grow. We're gonna motivate more people. The next generation, and
Yeah. Do you think we'll see a UFC South Africa? Because that's the kind of platform guys like yourself.
yeah.
I mean, that would be an incredible opportunity, right?
I mean, we could. I get that they want to come to Africa, and I get that us as Africans want it to be it'll be a lot of exposure, but infrastructure-wise, I don't know.
Tricky, yeah.
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
And not just infrastructure-wise, ticket sales. How much is a general South African willing to pay for a UFC event to go watch live, and will they make a profit with that?
That's the thing as well.
Yeah.
There was that interview with Drickus where he spoke on that, saying if you look at the numbers, it just becomes a ludicrous amount of money for a South African to spend, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to meet your man in the middle of, okay, do we have 80,000 people at the event, which means the ticket prices are lower, or do we have 10,000 people, in which case we've got to cover that same cost with an eighth of the amount of people.
Exactly.
But I wonder if it wouldn't be, look, if the UFC are willing to do Australia and they're willing to do all these other places around the world, why not invest? Let's call it an investment, because they might not make the same amount of profits as they would in Vegas or whatever.
Yeah.
But why not invest into the change and development of the future of the sport and develop Africa? Like if they brought a UFC and it was in Joburg, I'd go.
Yeah.
It would be the kind of thing that I'd save up to get to go to, right? And I don't think a lot of South Africans are thinking any differently than that, right? All of us are wanting the opportunity to get to see Drickus live.
Yeah.
He, other than the Springboks, he's one of our most hopeful champs. We all want the chance to get to see it happen in person. So I'm really hoping for it. I like to keep my fingers crossed about these cool things. But dude, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in and talking kakunas or just telling your story. Absolute pleasure. Catch the rest of the episodes of The Ultimate Fighter Season 33, especially Episode 7, which has dropped today. Go watch that incredible show, incredible opportunity for someone like yourself. And thank you. Thank you for representing South Africa and just for being such a stand-up guy. Love your energy, the fact that you're a mellow person, but also an absolute savage when you need to be. That's incredible. And good luck, dude. Good luck for the rest of the year. We'll definitely stay in touch. Whenever your next fight comes up, we're there. I've been cheering you on for that.
Thank you.
So yeah, God bless, and I'm excited for what comes out for the rest of the year and to see how the Ultimate Fighter plays out this season. Let's see what happens with that, dude.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your time, man.
Of course.
Lekker.